Before he took to flight in Top Gun, before he took on the hustler in a game of pool in The Color of Money, long before he played Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise was just a high school senior about to get into something really, really big. And can you believe it's been 4 years since this film put him on the map when it came out? Well, you better believe it. Let's talk about Risky Business. Big Days, Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Joel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1983 teen sex dramedy flick, Risky Business, released by Warner Brothers, produced from the Geffen Film Company, directed by Paul Brickman in his directorial debut from a script he wrote, starring Tom Cruise in the film that was considered to be his breakout role, along with Rebecca De Mornay. It follows the sexual exploits of a high school senior during his parents' vacation trip. It was a big success when it was released on this day 40 years ago. It was released on August 5th, 1983. Let's get into our story. High-achieving high school student Joel Goodson lives with his wealthy parents in the Chicago's North Shore area of Glencoe. His father wants him to attend Princeton University, his alma mater, so Joel participates in Future Enterprisers, an extracurricular activity in which students work in teams to create small businesses. When Joel's parents go away on a trip, his friend Miles convinces him to use his newfound freedom to have some fun. On the first night, Joel raids the liquor cabinet, plays the stereo loudly, joyrides in his father's car, I almost say old car, but no, it's a new one, and dances around the living room in his briefs and button-down shirt top. Bob Seger's Old Time Rock and Roll, which that, of course, was a memorable scene. Everybody should know that. The following day, Miles calls a prostitute named Jackie on Joel's behalf. But Jackie turns out to be a male cross-dresser, so Joel pays him just to leave. But as he's leaving, he gives Joel the number for another prostitute, Lana. That night, Joel is unable to sleep and hesitantly calls Lana, who is revealed as a gorgeous blonde woman, and they spend the entire night having sex. The next morning, Lana asks Joel for $300 for her services. He goes to the bank, but when he returns, she's gone, along with his mother's expensive Steuben glass egg. Joel finds Lana and demands the egg back, but her pimp Guido interrupts them, pulling a gun. While in his father's Porsche 928, Joel is chased by Guido but eventually escapes. Lana tells Joel that the egg is with the rest of her belongings at Guido's. He lets her stay at his house while he goes to school. When he returns, his friends have come over, and Lana has invited another prostitute, Vicky, to stay, but Joel rejects the idea. The women leave, only to encounter Guido and get into an altercation on Joel's front lawn before running back into his house. Joel agrees to the women spending one more night. Later that night, Joel, Lana, Vicky, and Joel's friend Barry go out and get high on marijuana. After Lana accidentally bumps the Porsche out of gear while retrieving her purse, the car rolls down the hill and onto a pier. Despite Joel's desperate attempt to stop it, the pier collapses and the Porsche sinks into Lake Michigan. When Joel takes the car to a repair shop, he is horrified to learn how much fixing it will cost. He and Lana later decide to turn his parents' house into a brothel for a night. Joel's share of the profits will pay for the repairs. The part is hugely successful, and the house is packed with Joel's friends and classmates and Lana's co-workers. Now, I'm going to go to the final act and the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. However, the recruiter from Princeton, Rutherford, chooses that night to interview Joel admission to Princeton. The interview is plagued by interruptions, and Rutherford is unimpressed by Joel's resume. Afterwards, he stays at the party and becomes acquainted with Lana's friends. After the party, Joel and Lana make love on the Chicago L. The next morning, when Joel comes home after retrieving his father's car from the repair shop, he finds that his house has been burglarized. When he tries to call Lana, Guido answers. He tells him he will let Joel buy back his furniture. Joel and his friends manage to get everything moved back in just as his parents walk in, though his mother notices a crack in her egg. Later, Joel's father congratulates him. The interviewer was very impressed, and Joel will be accepted into Princeton. Joel meets Lana at a restaurant, and they speculate about their future. She tells him that she wants to keep on seeing him. He jokes that it will cost her. End of story. So, what did I think of Risky Business? I must admit, this is a very good movie. And again, as I've said before, it's considered to be Tom Cruise's breakout role before Top Gun or The Color of Money. Those two were released 3 years later. Anyway, it became such a big success, and critics really enjoyed it, and many compared it to the film The Graduate in 1967. Now, I have seen that movie, but I'll try and review it sometime down the road. I've only seen it one time, but I think I might review it sometime soon. It's also considered to be one of the best films of 1983. Anyway, the film did well and went on to make 63.5 million domestically. The reviews are definitely were good. Well, in an original review from the New Yorker, they called it part satire, part would-be suburban poetry, and part shameless showing off. It said the film shows an abundance of style, though you would be hard-pressed to find a film whose hero's problems are of less concern to the world at large. And called Mornay's character disarming as a call girl who looks more like a college girl, and credits Cruise with making Joel's transformation from straight arrow to entrepreneur about as credible as it can be made. As of now, the film holds a 92% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, saying that featuring one of Tom Cruise's best early performances, the film is a sharp, funny examination of teen angst that doesn't stop short of exploring dark themes. Let's see. Variety said the film was like a promising first novel with all the pros and cons that come with that territory, and complimented Brickman on the stylishness and talent of his direction. Critic Roger Ebert gave a positive review, calling a film of new faces and inspired insights and genuine laughs. One of the smartest, funniest, most perceptive satires in a long time. Not only invites comparison with The Graduate, it earns it. The very best thing about the movie is its dialogue. Paul Brickman, who wrote and directed, has an ear so good that he knows what to leave out. This is one of those movies where a few words or a single line says everything that needs to be said, implies everything that needs to be implied, and gets a laugh. When the hooker tells the kid, "Oh, Joe, go to school, go learn something," the precise inflection of those words defines their relationship for the next 3 scenes. I couldn't agree more. Yes, I think this was very good. The story was really good. Paul Brickman did an exceptionally good job with his direction and story for the film. Now, as for the soundtrack, the film was scored by the German electronic music group Tangerine Dream, which was really good. There was also some songs in there from Muddy Waters, Prince, Jeff Beck, Journey, and Phil Collins, and of course, Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger, which made the film best known. There's also other songs you hear in the movie, including songs from Bruce Springsteen, The Police, and Talking Heads as well. So you know the soundtrack and score for this from Tangerine Dream was really, really something. Now, as for our cast, Tom Cruise plays Joel, and I must say he did an exceptionally good job. Rebecca De Mornay played Lana, and I'm going to say she was very superb. Now, actually, Michelle Pfeiffer was offered the role of Lana, but she turned it down. Of course, I believe right about the time she was doing Scarface, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was out coming out soon. And also there were other people up for the role of Joel, which included Sean Penn, Gary Sinise, Kevin Bacon, John Cusack, and even Tom Hanks. Now, for our other cast, we have Joe Pantoliano in one of his early performances as Guido. He did exceptionally really good. Nicholas Pryor, who I only remember him from the second Omen film, played Joe's father, and Janet Carroll played Joel's mother. Other cast members include Richard Masur, who I've seen on TV's One Day at a Time. I've also seen him in a film I was originally supposed to review last month. That was Licensed to Drive, and My Girl as well. He played Bill Rutherford. Now now a couple of familiar names. Joel's friend Barry is played by Bronson Pinchot, who would later go on to play Balky on TV's Perfect Strangers a few years later. And also there's Miles, played by Curtis Armstrong, who the following year would go on to play Dudley Booger Dawson in Revenge of the Nerds. And there's several others and what have you. So I'm going to say and again, there's a host of others. And I'm just going to say, so you know the cast is really good too. But anyway, and those and the hot sequences and what have you, I think you know what I'm saying. Even with the one at the intro, kind of a little fancy and what have you, yeah, really something. Risky Business was just so incredible. I really did love this film. It is definitely a great film with a great cast, great score and music, great direction, great story and what have you. And again, great characters and cast. But overall, with everything said, would I recommend Risky Business? The answer is hell yeah. Definitely look into this film. You won't be disappointed. I think you'll really like Risky Business. It's really good. If you've seen Risky Business, let me know what you thought about in the comment section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a spoiler-free review of the recent hit horror film Evil Dead Rise. I'm looking forward to doing that. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked it, check out my reviews for these other Tom Cruise films. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Mission Impossible from 1996. Well, on second thought, I'm just going to give you the whole playlist for Mission Impossible so you can see all those movies, including a spoiler-free review of the brand new film, Dead Reckoning Part 1. That would do it. Or, if you like something else, go to the right-hand corner and see my spoiler-free review of his monster hit from last year, Top Gun Maverick, the sequel to Top Gun. Or if you'd like another kind of a sex-type comedy from 1983, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of the underrated film Spring Break. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying see ya.